Welcome back, and we've got some late breaking news here from Helldivers as they just dropped the latest intel on the next Warbond coming to the game, and I've got all the important info for you, including a few little pieces I saw in the trailer that maybe you missed, and I definitely didn't see them in the PlayStation blog either. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely stick around. If you feel like supporting the channel, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell so you never miss my future upload alerts. And with that, let's check out the newest Warbond coming to Helldivers 2, Masters of Ceremony. This is the R2 Amendment Rifle, the one and only ballistics weapon included in the Masters of Ceremony Warbond. Current weapon specifications include some form of optics, zoom unknown, 20-round side-fed magazine, a bayonet, armor penetration values yet unknown, but the amendment looks to be fired either semi-auto or on a toggled 3-round burst. Alright, that's all the editing budget we can afford for today, but if you like that editing style with all those individual HUD elements, hit the video with a thumbs up and definitely drop me a comment. But for now, let's take a look at the Amendment Rifle, and instantly you look at that basic design with that bayonet sitting out front and your mind says, it's the Constitution. But there's more to it than initially meets the eye, especially with all those attachments. Now once the amendment hits next week with the Warbond drop, we'll need to do some thorough testing, but based on the fire rate we see here in the trailer, it doesn't look to be based on the Constitution for anything more than just baseline appearance. Now, for theoretical comparisons, wow, that's a term I didn't think I would ever use in a Helldivers video. Anyways, here's the Constitution stats with damage per shot, capacity, recoil, and of course that slow and methodical fire rate because, again, it's a bolt-action rifle, but you do see the medium armor penetration and, of course, the signature bayonet. But based on the rate of fire I'm seeing here in the trailer from the amendment, I think a much better comparison to this new weapon would be the R63 Diligence marksman rifle, which has slightly less base damage, more capacity, less recoil, and a much higher fire rate than the Constitution. And if, and I want to stress here, if the amendment is more akin to the Diligence, at least on paper, the amendment would be a better weapon than the Constitution. If my theory is proven correct, and from what we see here, it looks like this amendment is being fired in a 3-round burst, at least coming from this particular diver's weapon, it could actually be interesting to try out the amendment. But the armor pen, recoil, and damage would all need to be witnessed and tested to really get a solid feel for this new piece of weaponry. Masters of Ceremony, of course, features melee weapons, including the CQC-1 One True Flag Spear with Super Earth Flag that can be called down as a stratagem, along with the CQC-2 Saber. And from the intel I can gather here in the trailer, and of course the PlayStation blog post, these sound like cosmetic reskins of the Stun Baton and Stun Lance, which we currently have in the game. Same overall mechanics, same reach and damage, of course, just minus those stun effects. However, you seem to be able to proudly carry around this Super Earth Flag, of course, attached to a spear, and unlike the Stun Lance, you also seem to be able to plant the flag wherever you may roam. And I'm already getting ready for patriotic clips to hit social media of Helldivers proudly standing on a hill defending it against overwhelming odds, all while flying the beautiful colors of Super Earth. The next two items we honestly don't know all that much about, but this includes the sample scanner booster and the G142 pyrotech grenade. Now for this new booster, I'm going to take a guess here that since it says samples in the booster name, it's going to have something to do with maybe better sample drops, possibly, commons turning to rares, or it's far more likely that this is an increased chance of just getting samples to drop or maybe getting more samples to appear. And yeah, I'm going to have a lot to say about everything in this Warbond in just a moment in my thoughts and impressions section. So let's just try to stay focused for right now and stick to the basics of what we're going to see in this upcoming Warbond. Anyways, as you've been seeing in the trailer footage, the G142 pyrotech grenade can be tossed in, and it begins to apparently spin up very quickly, firing out sparks, which I believe catch targets on fire, ? Also, as the grenade spins up, it gains a few feet of altitude where it promptly detonates around head level. I mean, it looks cool, but field testing is, again, needed for not only the outright damage of this new nade, but also so we can see just how effective it is in crowd control. The Helldivers is certainly a 10 out of 10 for this new Warbond, with 2 new offerings, including the RE-1861 Parade Commander, which, taking a look at it, I'm thinking, at least based on what we saw from the Truth Commander's Warbond, that this is going to be your light armor variant. And you've also got the RE-2310 Honorary Guard uniform, which is going to be the medium armor option, ? Because I think the heavy variant available in the Superstore is what they show here at the very end of the trailer, which is called the RE-824 Bearer of the Standard, which, yeah, looks to be beefy and beautiful. Now, the armor passive for these new armor sets is called Reinforced Epaulets, and as the PlayStation blog describes them, offers your limbs the chance of not breaking so you can continue to wave the flag of victory. So, at least to me, this passive could go one or two ways. Hear me out. Either they have taken the extra limb health from servo-assisted and then isolated it into a single passive, which doesn't sound like it would go down all that well with the player base, or, and the chance in the description kind of gives me a second theory and a way to go here, that it will work much the way like 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗁 Protects currently does, in that it gives you a 50% chance of something not killing you. In this case, with Reinforced Epaulets, a chance of your limbs not breaking when taking severe damage. Now, if that's the case, I don't know if I would choose it over 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗁 Protects, but the Helldivers is undeniable with these sets, especially what I think is that heavy armor set, and a chance mechanic for my limbs to not break is not the most useless passive to have equipped. And the last inclusions in Masters of Ceremony are, of course, the cosmetics, which includes a little extra, so pay close attention to that item in just a moment. But as you can see from the player card, you're going to be able to unlock the Humble Regalia and Federation's Embrace banners and capes, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I do really love that Federation's Embrace cape. There's also the Decorated Hero player title and the Lockstep emote, which should allow you to march in place while striking the Super Earth Salute, which, again, I expect to see some of those synchronized marching salute clips hit Reddit day one. Also, not featured here in the Warbond because this is a little bit of retro cosmetic work being done by Arrowhead, but it says here in the blog that we're getting FRV patterns for the Viper Commandos, Freedom's Flame, Chemical Agents, and Truth Enforcers Warbonds, which you should be able to purchase in your ship's requisition computer, which of course uses rec slips as currency. It was March the 20th when we saw our last Warbond, Borderline Justice, hit the game, and when Masters of Ceremony goes live, which, by the way, is scheduled for May the 15th, a little more bit of breaking news there for you, it's going to be nearly 2 months since we saw anything new come to this game. And just, on a side note, it was December 2024 since we saw any new content hit the game with Omens of Tyranny. And I've got to be honest with you, my viewers, after this long of basically nothing new coming to the game and Arrowhead mostly just staying comms dark outside of the CEO popping into Discord chat and telling us all we were about to shit our pants at the new stuff coming to the game. But again, outside of that, it's been a dead zone out here. And frankly, I thought there would be more meat on the bone, so to speak, with this new Warbond. An old school Diligence with 2 reskinned melee weapons, a booster that I honestly don't think anyone will use, and a grenade, which I haven't used yet. I mean, it could be mind-blowing, and it could be mental against mobs, but at least based on those stats, it's light years behind even our weakest nades we currently have in the game. And all of this has been topped off with some of what I think are 2 of the most beautiful armor sets in the game, but using a passive we Helldivers might not find useful. But again, like I said earlier, after all this time with nothing happening in this game, I was thinking we were about to get a lot more. Listen, I know a lot of us are more than maxed out on super credits. We've hit the medals and rec slip cap, so purchasing things are not going to set us back because we have so much in reserve. But this is the last Warbond before the bulk of Arrowhead goes on summer holiday. And again, I'm not seeing anything here I would choose over current items in the game outside of like role-playing as a commander with troops and running around with a super Earth flag, which I've got to admit would probably look pretty dope. I miss those older Warbonds that we used to get with multiple weapon offerings and a secondary along with more varied and powerful options. But again, in terms of useful items I'm seeing in this one, I'd probably rank this Warbond below Chemical Agents as being my least used Warbond offering since this game launched. You know I love this game. You know I absolutely adore Helldivers, and I have all my fingers and toes crossed that whatever is rumored to hit the game next week with this party and whispers of possibly a massive update in tandem with a full-scale invasion is really going to wow us and attract large-scale player counts back to the game, because this game, Helldivers, really is an incredible gaming experience that just needs a massive shot of adrenaline and much more frequent updates to help keep it energized. But as always, if you have any feedback or questions, please drop them for me in the comment section. While you're at it, please hit subscribe, and you can help support the channel by becoming a channel member with tiers and perks available on multiple levels. Also, don't forget to ring the notifications bell and to check in the video description for an open invite link to my Discord server where we can squad up and enjoy some Helldivers together. Until the next one, this is 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐻𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐵uzzLitebeer signing off.